On today's episode of Touched by an Angel, while I sit here and wait for my Harley Davidson to rock up, I'm going to discuss the intricacies, in my interpretation, of the woke mind virus. All right. What happened here? What happened here with this woke mind virus? In anything that you're trying to combat, if you feel there's a negative aspect, or like one of these things, enlarging negative, whether it be human-made or anything. This can be applied to all phenomena like this, like global warming, or the woke thing, or I don't know, fear of death, probably going there as well, or agoraphobia, which I don't have. Basically, I get up and I don't have a lot of options on in front of me, and I check the surf because I live in Western Australia. And up here there isn't that much swell, so I probably should take up kite surfing or something, but I'm waiting for Richard Branson to come and take me kite surfing, but he just won't. He won't. He's so busy. Yeah, he's so busy and he can't fly to here. It's not like he can just fly here in 5 minutes and teach me how to kite surf. You know what I mean? And you'd think your dad would come and take you fucking kite surfing. You think he would make the effort, wouldn't you? You know? He's just left me here all alone. No, Richard Branson isn't my dad. Or maybe he is. Maybe Richard Branson is all our dads. Wokeism. I'd say wokeism was the inevitable high watermark of the female liberation movement. What were they called? The suffragettes. This thing. The reason you all get to vote and all these things. And basically, I think like the early stuff, amazing. It's like, this was the thing. It's like amazing. And then as you rose to the lofty heights of responsibility, really, because all those things you wanted, they're actually responsibility. You had it way better before. But we tried to tell you, but you would not listen. And that is why wokeism existed and why it potentially led to some atrocities, ladies. There's some blood on your hands now, yeah? Yeah, ladies, we tried to tell you it is so good, you know? We had such a good egalitarian system where you were very well looked after, or you could do so many things to provide for your family, and then you've gone and fucked it all up by wanting all the responsibilities that men had. And in exchange, you have lessened our responsibility, and we thank you. So now as we sit as equals, and we both genders now share the same responsibilities for looking upwards always, and also being concerned with what's going on below them. Something that the female sex needs a little bit more practice in. Yeah? Did he just blame the entire fucking woke thing on women? It's more complicated than that, you see? Everything in life is more complicated than that. But, yeah, basically there is a female instinct, okay? Now, this applies to all women across the board, and it leads to some strange things. So women that have children have an instinct to look after their children. Now, it's not like there's a meter, like on a car, that says full in this. Because although God created you, he's very light touch. He likes to let everyone, all his creatures, kind of figure it out for themselves. And so that's, if ladies, if there was a small addition to your wonderful attributes you have, it's just that. It's a F. You're missing the F. My girlfriend's missing the F. Aren't you, darling? Missing the F right now, I bet you. But she's missing the F off her number plate. Because, yeah. F, full. Oh, I'm full. Oh. The child has everything he or she needs, and I'm full. So now I can, once I'm full, once I've filled my nest, then I can concern myself with the well-being of everybody else. All right, so women have a hierarchy of their own, and it basically goes like we look after women and children first. That's like the Titanic, and men respect that, and we take that as a virtuous thing that we do. We self-sacrifice for women and children too, believe it or not. But men have been doing it a lot longer, like for all time, really. Men have been doing that a lot longer, and we've been getting better at doing it for larger groups and extending that out beyond ourselves, beyond our partners, beyond our family, beyond our own children, beyond we go, and that's why we have all these comforts around us, and we're not just still squatting in the bush, which actually most men would actually prefer if we were ever allowed to do it. If I could wander out, if right now, if I could go and gather 10 beautiful young women and wander out in the bush, and I can, I don't think there's any laws preventing me from doing that, but if it's the women don't want to do that because they're too well looked after in this whole nonsense. But yeah, that's mainly the problem I saw, I think, in this whole thing. Now, it's okay. It hasn't been that bad, but you just got to get this full thing. And so what basically they do is they look after their children, and then they overlook after their children, and when then they overlook after their children grow up to be like dependent on that unsustainable system that isn't in check with reality. And then that sends them a bit crazy because the male urge is to impress women, and so they're impressing women in all these strange ways because they're just basically living in luxury and dystopian, digital, fictional video game realities and things like that. And so that led to unbalance of all the energies, all the masculine energy, the female energy, and yeah, so women were just trying, they were like holding their children up. They're like, how much more can I give them? I want to give them what I have, ultimate power. And to do that, they have to be a woman. They were born as a filthy, dirty man. So women went so far that they were hating if they bore a man, because they'd positioned themselves that everything was so badly men's fault, despite living in a beautiful utopia created by men, that if their child was born as a man, they either wanted to kill it or they wanted to provide it with the tools for it to castrate itself and become a woman. And a whole bunch of other things. And women kind of collectively took this on as like their right, as their female right, and like their war of the lifetime. Like a million, billion, probably billion fucking Joan of Arcs, all just scrambling to build a gigantic nest filled with just keeping up with the Kardashians and I don't know, tiny little bottles of champagne, and children can't live on that. It's proven. I'm yet, as an amateur bird watcher, I have yet to find a nest filled with just miniature champagne bottles and keeping up with the Kardashians. So yeah, good try. Just need to find that F, and once you find that F, then you'll actually give an F. Okay, maybe unseen benefits is what this is going to be called. unseen direction. I want you to all just take a nice sit down and have a cup of coffee. I actually suggest, like, go and see. This is my mum's cup, right? And I reckon it looks like like a cartridge. So if I had some macrame or something, or maybe some pipe cleaners and from Pop Sticks, I would like to metaphorically like show you what I'm doing right now. I think I would make a little love heart out of those things and some like clag glue, and I would stick this love cartridge in the mortar, and then I'm going to press the button. Can I press it, Mum? She said yes. You ready? Boo! Big love bomb. These are love bomb. Baby love bomb. We're the Indigo Children. We've come here to help you all find out how to love again. In a slightly different way than what you thought it was going to be. But that's fun. I'm having so much fun. Thanks, Mum. Thanks, Mommy. I love my mum. I do. Sometimes when I do those things, I get a lose track of what I was going to say. I've got to, like, because that's like this weird skill. You've got to like it's like keeping a fucking... Oh no! I snapped it. That's a thumbtack, like a drawing pin. And I snapped it off because it's fucking firmly planted in the wood up there. Bugger. But yeah, that's what I have to mentally do, is like keep that dumb drawing pin in the concept, then go off into that fucking flow state to entertain you all, which none of you have paid for yet. How about you send me some money? You know? Could be just $2. What have you bought lately for $2? How much do you pay for Netflix? How much do you pay for fucking, I don't know, all kinds of things. But yeah, I forgot the concept I was talking about. I might have to pause it again. I'm going to have to. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I'll let for 3 minutes. Well, that was easier than I thought. What I did was I checked the beginning of my notebook, and obviously the first line was the theme. And so I splurt out the line, and then I vomit on you all the rest. With pure fucking just... This is... We shall fight them in the trenches, and on the beaches we shall never surrender. That's what I'm doing. This is the 2024 version of that. And that's not the fucking... Listen. Games of all descriptions, basically. We are the playthings of the elites. And always have been. And so... when you're elite, you get a bit fucking bonkers, but they're less bonkers now because, as you can see, this is a bit better than that for me. Although, I have to say, for all of us, this has been a war. So this is the next step I see. If women start deregulating what this last 8 years has been like for men, okay, especially for fathers and especially for responsible men that aren't, I don't know, fucking... insane, that are actually concerned with the very dire situation we find ourselves in. Because the men of World War I and World War II, although forced to go into that savagery and just machined down by absolutely evil machines of death, look, you have to understand, like, there was a progress to an ultimate point of insanity. That was World War I and World War II. We are far, far on the other side of that now. But we're still in... it was still war, okay? And in a strange way, if you consider that reincarnation, afterlife, all these types of things, at least then you're in it. You knew you were there. You knew it was life or death. You're going into the trenches. It's like, that's what it was. And it was a slog and fucking crazy, okay? I'm not taking away from it. But you either live or you die. It's like a fucking coin toss, really. Like, that's actually, once you go to that place, it's like, that's where it is. And also you weren't concerned with so many things. Life was a lot more simple if you're a man. You just kind of were like, well, I'm going to do this. I hang out with my mates, have a beer, and I go to church, and I, maybe play cricket, and or I'm playing thing, and then it's like, oh, we had to stop that to go and fucking protect the women and children by going to war, which is basically like going and having a coin toss with life. Most men, by the time they reach, 20, 22, have had probably a few of these situations where they're in life or death, or they should really. And so it's just kind of the state of men. But what was kind of, although, less horrific, I suppose, to the aesthetic, I would actually like to make a heavy argument that in some ways this has been could potentially have been psychologically worse because it was so untouchable. Because the situation I was in, it's why this has focused me into this pointy fucking arrow of death, it was like I couldn't do violence isn't an option. Even collective violence. I can't gather an army. They basically disassociated everyone, stuck us all in a box on our own, and then tried to do this dystopian crazy shit. And any men that were having the instinct to protect against it were so walled against it. And that's what you can see. Like, to squeeze that fucking trench-based warfare rage into this basically sent me to hell. It did send me to hell. I went to hell. I went all the way to hell. Just trying to figure out what to do, how to fix this. And that's where we can't have women deciding how men should settle arguments basically arising in women's minds. Women need to rise to the occasion and realize they are in a democracy, and they need to discuss their arguments with other women. And they do not ever have the capability to introduce men into their arguments that should be getting settled by women on whatever terms you want. And ladies, look, we'll keep an eye on it because we're not degrading. We are not going back towards that war. And we will protect you from yourselves degrading to that war, because that was the track you were on. Men were so dispossessed. You've done so much damage by these fickle arguments about unimportant matters in providing your children that we were probably 10 minutes away from roaming hordes of fucking knife-wielding women, literally castrating men and killing babies. So get used to fucking some verbal tashes, right? And you got to get better at it. I don't want to see this shit. It's not against men. Okay, we've proven that. I want to see like Oprah Winfrey and and Roseanne have a fucking discussion, because I don't think they can. In public, out in the open, right? Like this Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing. This is men's like, the thing with this fight is most men, they're kind of like, well, it's such a beautiful matchup because it's like, we want both to win. Everyone's rooting for Mike Tyson because he's the greatest of all time, potentially, up there with it. And he's fighting for old men and for comebacks and for resiliency and for like his pathway to being better. And then this is hit like, so I mean, the real beautiful win is Mike Tyson winning, because he's made the progression out of his destructive tendencies as a young man, maintained that fire, but focused it through a beautiful lens into something that is amazing as a person. Has stepped back into that fire to prove this wonderful thing, and is fighting a younger man. Now Jake is on the younger side, for a digital thing, so he's the up and coming guy. He's on that track to betterment, but he's young and filled with fucking vigor and piss and vinegar. So he's, and I think that the sweet spot of men lies somewhere in the middle of those two. You know, Mike's a bit older than we'd all like to be, but we all know we're going there, so that's that. And then Jake's kind of the sweet spot for that arrogant fucking manhood of whatever chaos through this new lens of the digital environment. And so it's such a beautiful thing. And I think just take the snapshot of this wonderful, like, they're not trying to kill each other. Well, they are, but they're not using swords or guns or fucking any of this shit. It is an agreed upon mutual mortal combat. Not mortal, but, well, they are mortals, but combat. Agreed upon combat by this wonderful thing. And so the snapshot of those two in the ring and all the men of the world watching it beautifully and calmly and politely and not shooting each other with guns except for certain fucking areas that really should sort their shit out. It's the snapshot of that. That's the moment. The winner doesn't matter. Okay? The winner doesn't matter. Either way, both those men deserve to be there, and they both are a wonderful example of egalitarian manhood. But let's see that with women. Roseanne and Oprah. Okay? Is it that hard? And now I'm going to run out of time. And I didn't even speak about what I was going to speak about, which was going to be unseen benefits. So maybe I did. Maybe I did talk about unseen benefits. But Joe, you could do that. Host Roseanne and Oprah on your show. That's already what you do, isn't it? You're gonna adjudicate and commentate and mediate a catfight. And that's what the whole fight's about. It's just to promote that, isn't it, Dana? You ready? Here we go. Hoorah. All right. Now I'm going to talk about the controversial thing. And if you've got a problem with this, just come and ring me up, send me a message, come and have a chat with me, politely and calmly, like Oprah and Roseanne are going to do. Because it's complicated, and I've had a lot of time to think about it. And this ultra masculine thing, I couldn't be that and do this. Like, I can't. Energy, you only have so much of it. You only have so much focus and direction. And although I would love to look like a fucking, gigantic, fucking muscled up, fucking sex, fucking gangster, motorbike riding, fucking wild man, which I am in spirit, I've had to focus it through this other fucking lens. This is, at the moment, the reason I'm waiting for my physical Harley Davidson to arrive is because this phone that Google gave me, can I get a one of a kind edition? I want the new Google phone in partnership with Harley Davidson. I don't exactly know what or how that would even look. But this is my motorbike. Obviously, I've flown around the world on it. It's like a fucking Harley Davidson with wings from all the way from hell. And I'm just like, I'm more of a car man, to be honest, but I do appreciate motorbikes. I like the horse-like ergonomics of it. So that noise I made was more of a car noise. So you'll forgive me again. But yeah, I had to do it here. This is my motorbike. This is my fucking noble steed. This is my fucking hog. And so I need the aesthetic of the phone to, I don't know how we could do that. It's I want a little bit more than just putting a Harley Davidson logo. I don't know. think, guys. It's like Google CEO, go and have a chat with the Harley guys. They're not going to try and kill you, I promise. And figure that out. Figure that out somehow. Device is too hot. It is too hot. That's them telling me. That's them being like, yeah, we got you, Shannon. That's so sexy. Oh my God, show us some nipple. Whoa, my God, the ladies are fucking moist. I don't even know. I don't know. Could I maybe just can I ask a favor from Google, because I've done so much for you? Can I just get all the women in the Google offices, just a video of them mopping the floor of the offices? Or sweeping it. They're mopping it. They're mopping it, aren't they? They're mopping the floor of the Google offices. Storage load. They're like, get to the fucking point, dickhead. Unforeseen benefits. I'm going to stop here at 3 minutes and 20 seconds and get some storage. The fool on the hill sees the sun going down. Na, na, na. 6 minutes, 40 seconds. I'm doing maths on the fly. I've got to figure it. Anyway, isn't it amazing what these things, how they can be great teachers if you're self-driven and you work out all the obstacles and formats and create these solutions for you to streamline your process. Thanks to Google. Unforeseen benefits of this thing. Right. So men, all of us together, we love women, okay? If you're a hot-blooded fucking sexual depraved fucking deviant, as I am, or was reformed now, then you love women and you love men. I miss so much just hanging out with men. I really do. I miss the fucking gut-wrenching bullshit fucking depravity of it. But I probably had to be isolated from other men to be able to evolve. And there's a weird point of like men, if we're all competing over women, that's the rocket fuel that has allowed this woke thing to elevate, because the women have so much power. They're holding so much power. And I've spent my whole life chasing women and giving them that power. Whether it's in porn, we're just worshipping woke. We're just like, oh my God, I'm sitting whacking off instead of fucking like spreading my seed across the world. Oh my God, I'm such a gangster. You're not a gangster. Okay, I'm sorry. Now, it's like sitting there eating chocolate cake all day. Like you're just covered, if that's the image of like, while you're whacking off, just think you're just sitting there covered in chocolate cake while your girlfriend like is off beheading other women and babies. It's you've given up your responsibility as a man, and that's not sexy at all. No one thinks that's sexy. So men need to take responsibility as well, and we need to realise that and I'm going to get the cards ready because I'm going to do a card reading in this one, okay? So men, we've got to all sit down, put your beer down for a second. You're going to listen to me? Are you listening? I'm going to do a card reading. Feminine men that perhaps want to be with other men and want to look pretty and do nice things, they're an amazing attribute to humanity. They're not against us. They're not trying to kill us. They're actually trying to help us. They want to actually help us, and that's wonderful. And they want to help women, and not all of them. As I said, like all men and women are complicated, and of course there are bad eggs everywhere, really bad eggs. But there's a large portion of them that aren't. Now, this is the unseen benefit of all of this. It's like, women, we love them. They're amazing. They're attractive. We're obsessed with them. We can't just, we would fucking walk over hot coals to get a blowjob, and ask me how I know. But don't really see a problem with like enabling another way for men to focus that into, to focus their, to evolve and to pretty themselves to achieve what they're desiring, which is probably men, or for them to be feminine. And so, like, what are you worried about? That a trans man's going to come in your wife and fucking, then what? Then we're going to have a world where there's just attractive, beautiful women that aren't trying to kill us all, and attractive, beautiful men that want to suck your dick and then play pool with you. Like, I'm finding it hard to see the downsides, and in order for that to happen, men would probably need to just be fine with a dick, and that's where fucking King Gillette figured all this out ages ago. And yeah, they need to keep their balls, and you need to get a little bit less fucking like concerned with whether, if you do have children, whether they're your children, because I can guarantee you from personal experience, okay, there is a lot of people out there raising children that aren't theirs. It's just always been the way it is, okay, and it's what the best thing to do is to just not think about that. There's so many examples of tribes, like the Polynesians are the greatest example. They did ceremonies and stuff. They're very ritually and kind of whatever. Maybe that's not where we're at because we're in civilized society. But yeah, it's not a downside to feminize men. We've been heading that way in all cultures for a very long time because it was actually evil kind of tyrannical men that bred men to be warriors, because that was the thing. So it's like a balancing act. We need men that are capable and able to be warrior-like archetypes, but we need them also to settle and lower their aggression so that we're not going into hell, so that we're going into a way better place. Now, if there's anything I've shown, it's that like the violence just basically, it gets you in that ring, and you get that moment, and that's such sensitized violence. It's like decent. It's like that. No swords. There's no guns. There's no fucking biting or teeth. That's all in their minds. That is. Those two men right now are in a vicious state to get to that level of fighting in front of everyone in a ring. But they've got big padded gloves on. We've been going this direction for a long time, and this doesn't mean you can't get on the roids and get massive. I'm not going to stop anyone doing that. It's beautiful, and women do want that. But maybe it's like a project, like let's just say it's a 1,000-year project, and then you get, like, I'd say right now, like most men, really, like you could probably negotiate to have, if you're in a good position, you probably negotiate to have like a really sexy fucking woman, and then like a really sexy feminine whatever and I just don't know. So in the process of that, you need to keep the balls. You don't really need to mutilate yourself. Yeah? And if you do want to, then do it with like a little gentle tattoo. Because that's probably the next, like that's probably just, it's like, just do what your heart feels like doing, everyone, and just lower the step, because it's like, can I do any progress to make the world better, to build power, anything by wielding a gigantic fucking sword and beheading people? No, that's going to put me in the same thing where I'm probably going to be fucked by men anyway. Do you get it? It's the enigma of the lifetime. It's like, you cannot escape this. I didn't build it. I promise you I didn't. I've actually been trying to fight it as well, because I was inserted with that fear. And yeah, it's dumb. It's the dumbest thing ever. Just come to terms with the fact that you're probably, more than likely, unconsciously a little bit sometimes attracted to like beautiful, like more feminine men. And if you're not, then I'd say like just stay in that place and like just realize that is the bargain. There is no way to gain actual power by nurturing that savage, murderous side. You need to focus it into something else, and these are the tools. It's like we're not in control of this. There are higher powers that just are 100% concerned with this, but as it goes backwards and forwards. So there was, yeah. If anything, it's probably some of those powers that be. The reason they're trying to castrate is because they don't want this to happen. They don't want this feminization because they can just sit back as they're actually being feminine and they're just controlling the ultra masculine men and then sending them to die in fields. Okay? And so these are unseen benefits, and just don't knock it until you at least just observe it once. Just sit down quietly and just be like, all right, Shannon told me to do this. I'm just going to have one look and then let me know. So I thought I was finished, but I'm not finished because I just wanted to sit down and relax. And then I put the Joe Rogan Experience on, and it's like, see this? This is called morphic resonance, I think. We're all collectively just having this moment together as men to heal ourselves from this thing. I can hear it. From the second I go. From the second I hear those two men talking, I'm instantly possessed with the knowledge of what to say and what they're saying. And this is a beautiful thing. I don't understand it, but it's beautiful. And now, for I think a lot of men out there, potentially, I'm going to ruin one of the greatest, in my interpretation, it is the greatest film of all time. It's my favorite film, if you can say that, because it's weird. It's more like a ritual once a year. For as long as I can remember, maybe 20 years, 30 years, no, 23 years. I think I've watched this film as a reminder to diligently chip away at what I'm trying to do and to remember to be patient and all these things. And it's still a beautiful film. It still is. But there is an underlying there is a little grain of sand, of beach sand in this that most men have never realized. Okay? And I have a deep connection with this film. My alias, my alter ego, my character of choice that I've been perfecting and working on for my whole life, because my father named me this character, is named Shanks, and this film is The Shawshank Redemption. Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins. I'm sure Tim Robbins. I'm sure. If I fucked that up, I apologise so much, because you were one of my favourite actors and you're a huge inspiration to me. The Shawshank Redemption. There is obviously the main thing of that: perseverance, hope. That is all still 100% there and wonderful. But the underlying theme, and this is, I think, why my English teacher gave me a passing grade in year 11, despite me handing absolutely nothing in. His constant attempts to get me to do absolutely anything, all failing. But that man, Mr. Whitehead, I'm sure his name was, gave me a passing grade, which meant that I passed year 11, which put me in a category of capable humanity, I suppose. Though that's a bit stupid, isn't it? Obviously, I wasn't at the mature age to understand the importance of that. And so I appreciate that man for giving me that C and allowing me to see. Because he could obviously see that I could, in fact, see these things. Because I could speak, I just didn't want to write it. Isn't that an amazing thought? What writing now is almost not needed. Okay, we're still going to need it. There's still a lot of people that live in that world, but it's not really needed. You don't really ever need to write anything ever again. And so if schools can accept that and accept something like this, I think a huge majority of children, if they could present a video, like a monologue like this, as opposed to a written piece, we will see education and the like enthusiasm of these subjects that are so vital go up, because it's the act of writing. There's tons of literature on this. There is two modalities in people, and it's about time that we elevate this, because it's the same thing. It's why I called it ink, because this is ink. It is fucking vanishing ink. Yes, but now we have the tools to make it not vanish, which I can only assume, because there's been so much movement this way and support from on high, that is a wonderful evolution of man, and will be a positive change. The underlying theme of The Shawshank Redemption, okay? Now, obviously, the most horrific scene in that is his interaction with men. This sits there as the fear of men. As women walk through the world, they have a different thing. They're constantly, once they reach a certain age, they're constantly confronted with this fear. And the funniest thing of all is that women, we think of women as like soft and weak and helpless and all these things and all these, but that's the most horrific scene in The Shawshank Redemption, and really all women are constantly in that once they get it, and ever increasingly in a very destructive pattern, not even till they reach that thing. And so that's, as men, we need to do better in assisting women against that, and that's in ourselves. We need to lower this vicious urge that is seen, because it's, you know what I mean, if that's the scene in the movie. But that is a scene of rape, and it's actually a scene of gang rape, and it's actually a scene of violent gang rape. It doesn't matter whether it's men on men or men on women or women on men, which was a new thing. That's what kind of just happened. Women just gang raped men, and we probably deserved it. No, we definitely deserved it. If you take that historical precedent set by men, we deserved it. Now, if we pinpoint that as the most horrific moment in that film, because it's the inception of that in men, that we are susceptible to this as well. This outward desire, sometimes escalating to an atrocious peak, can not just be something we participate in or have to protect ourselves from going down that wrong path. It can also be something that is done to us, and we can have all our freedom and all those things. Not even, so you've already had your freedom taken away from jail, and then you ultimately have your ultimate freedom to say no taken away from you in the same way that did you get it? That's it. Now, the unseen part of that movie that's about rape. It's not about men on men. It's not about homophobia. It's not about that. It's not like they decided to walk down and give each other a thimble and gently love each other and have amazing conversations and talk to each other. No, he was raped. Doesn't matter whether he's a man or a woman, he was raped. And there are far more men out there getting raped than there are women. I'm almost certain the statistics claim that. Okay, so this is happening to men more every day and far more viciously. Far more, and just it is, yeah, that's rape. That is rape. That is not homosexuality. It is rape. Rape is a vicious, filthy thing, and anyone who participates in it should be punished. The part that maybe none of you have noticed is that upon freedom, he did an elaborate plan to spend that time in his freedom with a man he was in prison with, who he obviously felt a deep love for. Yeah? And although it's a woman, very thin piece of paper that covered his plan to escape out a pipe filled with shit, he chose his freedom, his hope, and very elaborate plan, very long, patient plan, was to spend his freedom with another man building a boat. That's love. Yeah? It's got nothing to do with gender. It never has.